$1 million. This is what most e-commerce brand founders hope to hit at any point during their e-commerce journey. But what if I told you there was a predictable way to be able to do this every single year for your e-commerce brand? So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through 3 things that you should put all of your energy and focus on if you want to hit the $1 million per year mark every single year for your e-commerce brand. So the first main area I would look at is product. It's really tough to sell a really crappy product. Really the 3 main things that I'd look at is 1 is going to be demand. How much demand is there and how much opportunity is there? 2 is really going to be the white space. Like where's the white space in the market? Where is there opportunity here? And then 3 is really going to be unit economics. You can check off the first 2 boxes, but if you can only sell this thing for $20 and you're only going to make 50% gross profit margins, you can be the best marketer in the world. It's just going to make it so tough. And the thing is, if there is a ton of demand and there's a ton of competition, that's going to have to lead to the second point, is really you're going to have to find the white space in the market, because if you're just going to copy, other brands and other products, it's going to make it way too tough to scale. Second thing as well, is there a clear niche and audience for the product? When I look at a lot of the brands that we've scaled to 7 figures, there's always like a clear niche and audience that we're going after. It could be a combination as well. And the third thing you want to look at as well is the industry or niche or audience, is it actually growing? But if you're able to find an industry that's healthily growing rather than declining, it's just going to work so much better in your favor. Okay, so the next area that you're going to want to look at in terms of product is where is the white space? First and foremost is you really want to find products that aren't super hyper competitive. This makes it a lot easier for you to kind of break in, and you don't have to be super differentiated. These are some frameworks that I'd look at in order to kind of be differentiated to what's out there in the market. So 1 is location. Is there basically a product that's sold really well in another country that's not so well sold in yours? Or alternatively, is something that sells really well in retail that doesn't really sell too well online? A great example of this is Magic Spoon. Another thing is material. A great example of this is like Allbirds, shoes made with trees. So if there's a way that you can basically have material that's basically differentiated, that's really good to do. Up next is functionality. I remember seeing this brand, Hush Blankets. They basically came out with the world's first, cooling weighted blanket. So it's kind of a new functionality for the weighted blankets to this product, and they differentiated like that. And the last piece of product that I really look at is healthy unit economics. And when I'm talking about that specifically, I'm talking about 1 is gross profit margins, and then 2 is the average order value. I would say great gross profit margins, like top of the line that I've seen when I talk to brands, is really around 80%. Like that's the best of the best. I would say like healthy is going to be around 60 to 70%. Now, once you got a great product and product line, next thing you're going to need to really focus your energy on is a great website. First things first is really honing in on your collection and product pages. And then in particular with your product pages, what you need is great photos. Photos are like, if honestly, in my opinion, I would say it's like the 80-20 rule that makes like a huge piece of the conversion rate. The photos are just so important, so I would not overlook those. I'd make sure you have at least minimum 4 to 5 photos on there. You can add more as well too. Another thing as well too is I'd make sure you have a very clean navigation as well, and it's very easy to navigate. I wouldn't overlook that. It's a very important one. And another thing as well too with your product descriptions, really important. You want to make sure you obviously outlay all the benefits and really just kind of sell it really well. Now, if your product requires a lot more explanation, it's not just like fashion and it's just, what you see is what you get. I would really look at creating a bit more of a long form product page, including things like just more lifestyle photos and benefits hooked into it. I would look at adding like a frequently asked questions section as well, adding in icons showcasing the benefits. So I'd look to add in more things to really kind of sell and showcase, all the unique benefits and unique selling points. And then also reviews. That's also the last piece that I'd really add on there. That's super important. And last final other things I would add in terms of site is really speed. I would really do a speed test on your site and make sure that it's quick. Like anything less than 2 seconds, you're in the green light for. If it's longer than 2 seconds, I would really look at shortening it. I remember seeing this stat that for every 1 second decrease in load time, your conversion rate goes up by 3 to 10%. Speed is just so important. The last piece you got to focus on and really hone in on is the marketing. In regards to the marketing, there's 2 things you got to focus on. Is 1 is acquiring new customers, and then 2 is basically retaining your customers. What I'd really focus on is really starting off organically through channels like Instagram, TikTok. So I'd really focus on building a community there, doing giveaways, working with influencers to drive traffic. Organic and paid advertising mixed together is like kind of a really perfect method in terms of marketing. That's really all you need. All right, so once you're growing organically and you're starting to do paid advertising, what you really want to do is you want to hone in on your angles and then also your hooks. Now I'm going to pull up a really quick example and a really good example from a company called True Classic. They basically have 3 different angles. They have look great, female attention, and also customer call out. And then within these different angles, you'll notice that they have different hooks. This is the holy grail of men's t-shirts. I've never had a shirt that fit me like this. And same thing with female attention. I got my boyfriend these for Valentine's Day, and now he won't stop wearing them. You know, calling all dad bods, your dad deserves a better shirt. Men over 30, you need this. What I advise you to do is do a lot of research on your target audience, figure out which angles and hooks you want to start testing, and then start building around the highest performing angles. Now, the last 3 final things that I'd really focus on in terms of acquiring customers, specifically with paid ads, is really going to be your content, your offer testing, and also landing page testing. Now, in terms of content is so important. You quite literally almost have to become a bit of a media company and really just producing a lot of content. In terms of paid advertising, what basically I'm an expert in, I'd say, is you really want to just test out different types of content, whether it's photo, carousel, whether it's catalog, whether it's video, and different angles and hooks within each of those mediums, and really just doubling down on whatever's performing the best. So as an example, let's just say video. You want to figure out a system where you can basically get new content every single week, and if you're spending a lot more, then maybe it's going to be 5 to 10 videos a week. And there's like a plethora of different ways. You can either go to your audience, you can also use like outbound and basically just like DM creators. Up next is offer testing, whether that be some sort of, free product over X amount spent, some sort of percentage off on the front end just for, new customers only. And then the last piece, which I talked about on the channel, is also landing pages. Now, there's different types of landing pages. I find the listable style works really well for brands and products that, have a bit of detail behind it. If there's like a lot of info you want to cover on the brand before, if someone, basically an ice cold visitor, comes to the site, they've never even heard of the brand before, it's a really great way to warm traffic up in a very visual and compelling way with like all your unique selling points without revealing pricing or anything. And finally, the last piece of marketing is really going to be retention. In order to get to 7 figures, most of the time it's going to really help you out and make you a lot more profitable if you're able to retain customers. And the way to do this, but really the primary way, is going to be email and SMS. And what you want to do is you want to set up flows and also campaigns. Now with the flows, what I would do is I would look to set up like a welcome series flow. So basically when someone signs up, gets the coupon code on like a pop-up, learn about the brand, learn about maybe a founder story, learn about all the benefits of the brand, and then also have another flow for browse abandonment. Someone goes and visits product page and leaves. You want to basically have a flow there. Also abandoned cart and abandoned checkout. And last one as well is a post-purchase one. Thank them for their order. Basically go ahead and try to, cross-sell, upsell them different products in your catalog if you have them available. And the second piece to it is also doing campaigns. So basically a really good strategy for this is starting off with 1 campaign a week and then basically looking to raise it to 2. And then once you raise the amount of campaigns you're sending per week, you want to kind of take a look at the open rate and also the revenue and click-through rate. Now with these campaigns, you want to really make sure you build the relationship with your audience and you're not trying to sell them literally every single time. You want to kind of just really build that connection with them, whatever makes most sense for your brand. But this is kind of the main things you really want to focus on, as well as really dialing in the campaigns and also your flows to really make sure you're retaining customers and making your brand way more profitable and allowing you to scale much further.